Hello fellow adventurers and collectors, Filmaholic here. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different in that I'm going to be showcasing a couple things I've gotten over the past month or so. And instead of waiting for things to move along as I wish they would, I'm going to have you guys vote on what the next video will be. So these were projects that I were planning on doing, and things were taking a lot longer than I wanted them to be, so instead of having you guys wait for each individual one, I'm gonna showcase each group that I got. So first off, we have the McFarlane Space Marines from Warhammer 40k, and with this video project I kind of wanted to do something similar to the touch-up video. So yeah, these are great figures, and I ended up finding them on the actual stores, so that was something nice to experience for, you know, everything that we're going through right now. Something that caught me off guard with this figure in particular is that it has a lot of different detail compared to the original release. You know, it doesn't have the same molding that the other figure has. So yeah, my plan with this, these two figures that I got, I wanted to do more touch-ups on them because, again, the sculpt's there. It's just a matter of trying to bring it out through paint apps and, you know, enhancing some of the edges and stuff like that. And ever since I did film this, I did find the gray ones as well, but I didn't end up picking them up because it felt like it was more trouble than it was worth, you know. But yeah, like I said, here's a comparison between the two, and like I said, they don't share the same sculpt 100%. For example, the shoulder pad on the right is different, as well as the right leg. It doesn't have the same sculpting, and there's also some sculpted battle damage on the Blood Angel, so that's nice to see that he's kind of improving on that sculpt. But yeah, this was one of those things where I was kind of waiting to paint it up, and I keep having things come up, so instead of keep you guys waiting a little bit longer, I figured I'd just, you know, lump all these projects together into one video, and then we'll see where we go from there. Also, something that I've been trying to hunt down is that new Walmart exclusive version, but I haven't yet to find that one either. Now next up, I was able to find the Battle Sister, and this definitely is the most articulated one out of the bunch, and that's definitely because it's a, you know, smaller frame, and also the torso, it's used a softer material that allows it to bend more than the other two figures, which is fine, but I just worry about it degrading over time. Now, something I think this sculpt really does need that little bit of touch up to bring out some of the detail, otherwise it's kind of just meshed into that black sculpt. And here they are together, and yeah, this was one of those things where I had great ambition to paint these up and then showcase it in one video, but yeah, that didn't happen. And that's just how it goes sometimes. I'm definitely loving this line. I just wish I could find more of them, you know, at a faster rate, and I kind of like to see more diversity in their, you know, their line, and more aliens or something to fight to have them fight against, you know. But you know, I'm fine with Space Marines as well, so it's not entirely all bad. Now next up, I ended up finding these two, and these in particular were something that I had, or at least I had Garrus a while back, and I regretted selling it ever since. And these were kind of a disappointment, I'm not gonna lie. I somehow amassed a large Playarts Kai collection despite not liking the figures, but these are the only figures of the Mass Effect series that I actually like, that aren't, you know, astronomically priced. So I found these for a great price, so I had to take the opportunity to pick them up. And you know, I can understand why I sold it initially, but now I'm at least glad to have Garrus back. The female Shepherd was kind of disappointing, to be honest with you, and I've never had that figure, so safe to say that she's on the border of not wanting anymore. But yeah, something I do appreciate about these Playarts Kai figures is that they do have a large variety of accessories, and they don't all come with the same thing, so as you build up the line, you have different weapons to choose from. So, and you know, part of me is like wanting to finish this line because it's only like 4 or 5 figures, I want to say, but it's gonna take time. I'm in no rush to actually complete it now. Now that I have Garrus, at least, because Garrus was my favorite back then. And it was one of those moments, man, where you're aching for some cash and you have something that you just don't want, you know. So, but after that, I kind of regret it. But he'll most definitely stay in the collection. And here they are out of the package, and you know, they're the typical player's Kai quirkiness. They have weird articulation, they don't necessarily get in the best poses, but they're definitely great renditions of the characters, and with the Mass Effect Legendary Edition coming out, it's nice to have them. I just wish that another company would take up the license and make 1/6 scale figures. 3-0 had it for a while, but they kind of dropped the ball. So I'm hoping someone like Mondo will at least pick it up, but something tells me this line is kind of dead. I mean, there's also that new video game coming out, but the odds of that being successful are very slim nowadays. But yeah, this is another video project that, I don't know, things have been kind of rough lately, so I just kind of abandoned it, but might as well use the footage now, right? Alright, next up is something pretty big and definitely out of my wheelhouse typically, and I got this, you know, basically out of a whim. You know, it was one of those things where you see it, you kind of need to get it unless you regret it. So, as you see with this giant box, it blocks the entire screen, so pardon the black screen for right now, but in a minute you'll see what I picked up. Any 1/6 scale collector knows how difficult it is to find vehicles, so when I came across this giant 1/6 scale Jeep, I knew I had to pick it up because I collect a lot of military figures and it's nice to see them with more modern vehicles. So this is something you don't necessarily come across, and here it is next to a 1/6 scale figure. And you know, the Jeep is something more versatile. It can be civilian, it could be military, it could be, you know, whatever you need it to be. And of course it came with these plastic bits that I took off that made it look a little bit weird. But this is actually running. It's not one of the RC cars that the other numerous RC cars that I have that are broken, but I wanted to convert this into a climber, or at least a trail runner, but I know nothing about RCs. So looking into it a little bit, it's expensive. So it's definitely going to be on the back burner for at least a while, considering I have yet to even buy my next smart doll. So I don't know. I mean, if you have any tips or, you know, good tutorials, please let me know, because I definitely want to do that at some point. I know I have to at least build a new chassis, which should be easy enough, but when it comes to the actual components, I know nothing. So it'll be a fun project to try. I do need to cut out the floorboards to actually get the figures inside. And aside from that, I've been tempted, I've considered at least, to paint it up like a Jurassic Park Jeep. You know, it's a rare opportunity where you can actually get a Jurassic Park Jeep for cheap, you know. But we'll see. Either that, or I just make it like a custom Jeep that I would want myself, so we'll see. And again, this was one of those projects where I was going to do everything and then film it, but oh boy. As you can see, it's a running trend of things just getting away from me, being over ambitious and stuff, but I appreciate you guys being patient with me, and I thank you for everyone for subscribing this far, you know. But yeah, let me know what you want to see, and if anything interests you, I can definitely try to get that together. But otherwise, I appreciate you guys checking this out, and if you feel so inclined, please like, comment, and or subscribe, and I'll catch you all next time.